kind of go full circle. Like we talked about how Jake and I got into this beautiful relationship of ours. And one of those things was that I think you and I have always had in common was music, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or bands. Like we've always kind of bonded over that. Even
Yeah.
when we're like the closest friends, I'd be like, we somehow knew that we were listening to the same kinds of music and songs. And I a vivid memory is watching that Woodstock '99 at your dad's place the summer before everyone for
Oh, and we
freshman
were
year of
just
college.
sweating our butts off because my
Yeah.
dad didn't run the AC, and
Mhm.
we were watching on my tube,
Yeah.
old school tube TV, and just sweating.
Did you have a black box or what? Because that was like pay-per-view, right?
I think he jacked it
Paid for it?
somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
like back in the day, that was some high tech technology for my dad.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, that was
But
it was that famous 99 Woodstock, right? Like,
yeah,
burn everything down. I don't think we watched
mud
that
everywhere.
part of it. Yeah. I can definitely pick Flea's penis out in the lineup though now. I do remember that part
For
of it.
sure.
But anyway, we
But
thought about
hey,
doing.
before
Yeah,
you,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry to interrupt you.
No, go
But
ahead.
yeah,
Step all over. No, go ahead. Step all over my stuff.
you're
You just don't allow me to spread my
take your
wings. You
thunder.
don't. Yeah, you don't want me to
You know I'm gonna
spread my
forget.
wings.
I have to
No, that's
jump
right.
in. I'm gonna
Right.
forget. You made me
Okay.
forget because you wanted to argue this. No, I'm sorry. I yelled for the third time. I got excited because oh yeah. No, with music, I always honestly appreciated you sending me, hey, have you heard this band? And sending me CDs on deployment. Like music was super important. What's staying level-headed or relaxing or just that always helped me escape things a little bit. And so I always really appreciated you telling sending me a text or email or something about a band that has a cool album, because I would say half the music I listen to now is because I heard it from you. And I think that's a cool piece that we share. And you just took me to the Interpol concert this last November, and never seen Interpol before, and I got to see the Walkmen again, and we hadn't seen the Walkmen since 2004.
Yeah.
And
Coachella.
Coachella. That
So
was
yeah, we going
yeah.
on concerts and
We'll
festivals and
we'll talk about those maybe in one of the segments if you
yeah.
remember enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So what the idea I had is, maybe we'll do like a song of the week every week. We'll post something, which, in theory, it sounds really cool until you realize there's copyright infringements that we deal with. So we're not going to actually be able to tell you the song, but I think there's like ways to go around it, and I'll try to figure it out. Like if on YouTube, you might be able to show one of their videos that's already on YouTube since they've already released it. So maybe we'll figure something out like that. But, we're old men now, and
We can't go to
I think
those anymore. We can't handle
yeah,
2 or 3 day concerts.
no, but I think I
Oh,
remember thinking this about my parents is like they tend to stick to listen to the same music that they grew up with, and I found myself doing that quite a bit, like listening to the same albums or bands 20, 15 years ago. And so I kind of set myself up in the last few years to do a Spotify playlist where I find only music from the year that we're currently in, and it's helped me kind of find newer stuff and keep me hip to the game, so to say. But right now, and honestly, I don't think it would have been easy to pick like newer songs, because I think for the segment we want to try to keep newer songs. I mean, every once in a while we might throw like a oldie in there from, I don't know, a few years ago or whatever. But try to keep it as current as possible. I haven't ran that by you, but that's what I kind of
I'm gonna
imagined
go
it.
and shoot that down. We're not doing that. No, but remember I was saying we could do a music segment and figure out the copyright rules and restrictions and talk about I would mention to you like most underrated bands from the 90s, or
Yeah.
most underrated album from the 90s or 2000s, and you have your pick and I have my pick, and we just pick 3 and talk about it real quick. And
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be able to play the
Yeah.
song, but we can definitely talk about it and just say the song and the artist or the album and the
Right.
whatever.
So for this little segment, we'll do like a song of the week. I'll post it on our socials, so our Instagram and our YouTube page. I'll put a little link to it. But I just think honestly, for the first time maybe in a decade, I kind of think music's in a really good place right now. I don't know if I would have said that, a few years ago. A lot more sort of guitar driven stuff that we grew up with. For the last decade or so, most of the music that's in the top 40, which isn't necessarily what we listen to, but the most popular stuff is, hip hop, R&B, like the pop music. Not really my cup of tea, but like I have
Taylor
kids now.
Swift. You're not big into
Yeah.
Taylor Swift? She's your girl.
I'm not. My kids got into it for a while and I had to listen to it, but they've kind of gone out of that phase. But my son's favorite artist is 50 Cent, which is kind of funny.
Dude.
It's old school, but like, and then my daughter and me, we tend to like the more indie stuff. But I think right now there's just a good mixture of guitar stuff, guitar driven stuff, where like kids are still getting out into the garage and cranking out stuff. In the last year and a half, I would say the algorithm on Spotify has really done a good job.
No.
So
the Spotify AI is doing well.
Yeah, that one actually works. I don't know. There's just like some good, interesting music out there. We tend to listen to the more like indie rock type stuff. There's a good mix of Southern kind of sounding, Kings of Leon-esque type stuff, or even folky, Lowered Huron, even like an indie sleaze type stuff that we were kind of into back in like LCD Sound System. Yes. Back in like, the early O's. That's what they call it. I don't know. Anyway, so I struggled with this one though, because I thought there was a lot of good songs that I wanted to pick, but I ended up landing on a song by the band Ray Bull. The song is Know By Now. It's off of their 2023 album Easy Way to Lose. So I stumbled across this song because they had released a new song recently. Little Acts of Violence is the EP, and I think that's the title track of the song. It was great. So then I went and listened back to their catalog. There's not a lot known about the band really that I saw. I kind of looked, and I'm not going to rely on AI like we've already gone over, but it looks like they're based out of Brooklyn, New York, which sounds about right. I think they have like a really maybe more a decent presence on TikTok too. Like they do a lot of videos. Am I not supposed to say that?
No, I don't. I surprisingly, my algorithm for TikTok is not bands playing. I don't really want to say what I normally see.
yeah. I didn't want to bring that up. And then there's also a rumor that there's two guys that are make up the band. They're a married couple, which is kind of interesting. So I don't know. So I think this song's fantastic. Like it's one of those ones that just kind of gets stuck in your head. I'm a sucker for a good pop song that's not formulaic in a way that you'd hear maybe on top 40 radio. I don't know. You listen to it too, I think. And I'm also a sucker for call and responses where somebody sings and another person sings. Typically it's like a male female thing, but they do the male thing.
Yeah, you big on that? You big on the male thing now?
I'm big on male things. Yeah, I don't know. Can we say that? I don't know. I'm big on male things.
If that's what you're into, man, you're still my friend. Okay.
Yeah, I got you. So what do you think of the song? You listened to it?
I like the song. I listened to it probably 2 or 3 times, and then the rest of the album, which am I getting it wrong that it's an EP that only has like 5 songs or something like that?
Yeah, I think they have it released as an album, but it's more like an EP. I don't know if I don't even know if they're signed to a label. I don't really know anything about them. It's pretty crazy that there's not a lot of info on them.
I don't know a lot about this band, but they're great.
Well, I know their music. I don't know like
personally.
Like I haven't met them. I was there before they were cool. Before they had their big breakout.
Yeah, maybe you're gonna help them break out now.
This podcast. Yeah,
the album for the 7 listeners we lost Becca, so just 6 listeners. Maybe they can get them out there. No, but I was gonna say I liked and put on my playlist 3 of the 6 songs I think it was, and I liked it. I definitely want to listen to them some more. It's definitely, like James said, I didn't really like a lot of music last few years, and I think it's getting, like James said, a lot of older bands are coming back with touring, like Interpol and the Walkmen are still around, so I think there's still that vibe of that's nostalgic for us 40-year-olds, that all these bands we loved in the late 90s and early 2000s, or some of them are still touring. Built to Spill, I can't wait to try and see them again. So I think this music thing is cool, and hopefully we can get people to go to a concert that we maybe go to. I know we talked about trying to go to, or we're going to try and get tickets to
Just Like Heaven.
Just Like Heaven
tour. Yep. Or it's not a tour, I guess. It's more of just like a festival. Is it a one-day festival? I think it might be only a one-day festival.
I think it's a one-day
at the Rose Bowl. So, yeah. So give that. We'll have the links. You can listen to it. Give us feedback, or don't. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. I don't want to force you guys to do things.
Right.
You know?
We'll just edit, I'll go to our Instagram post. And if you want to leave a comment on the link where we have fit to the song, you can just also leave a comment like, oh, I also like this band and this song. And hopefully we can hear about some new music to from some of our friends. So please feel free to comment on our Instagram post, your favorite band or favorite album or favorite song that maybe people don't know about.
So that wraps up Song of the Week.
Nailed it. All right, so question of the week. All right, right now, James, look at me.
Yes, honey.
Yes. All right. Better background. Get a better background. This needs to be Serenic. Serenic? Is that a
Serenic Williams? Yeah.
Serena? It needs to be Serena Williams in the background. Let's go.
I don't even know how I did
It's
it
fine.
anymore.
Just forget it. You ruined it.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
All right. Back to question of the week. Right now, James. All right. If you could have a conversation with the younger version of yourself, but you can only go back to when you were a certain age. Age options are 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 years old. Which age would you go back and talk to, and why? This is a little philosophical one. I know it's a hypothetical and unrealistic to ever happen, but
I mean, you could do one for every 5 years that you listed right here, honestly.
I know if you had to pick one, there was only one way travel on a special magic machine that goes back once.
It's gonna be,
and you get to come back, or do you want to just stay there?
I guess I would pick 15, right? Because
okay,
I don't know. I would have. Yeah, I think I'd pick 15 because more impressionable. There's no way the 15-year-old is going to listen to me though. So like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how many mistakes? How many mistakes did you make before 10? Probably not enough to say like, let me go back or after 12 or 10. Like, let me go back to my 10-year-old. They're super immature, aren't going to remember, going to think you're a weirdo, right? Some bearded dude with a receding hairline for both of us. And
like, why are you talking to me?
Stranger danger. No, but and then carry on or follow on question for this is, what do you think? Or what would you say to them, and what do you think they would say about you now? So we're going to go to that. But so going back to the age you picked. So you picked
I'd go to 15, and the reason why is because you still got, it's hard to say your whole life, but kind of, right? Like 15. So that puts us at like freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
For me, you maybe.
You were older. You were an older person.
Man,
Yep.
So yeah, I would do that because I feel like there's time. What would I say to them? I would say take the things you're doing more seriously. Like I did not take school. I didn't even take. I honestly even basketball I didn't take it seriously. I just kind of went through the motions, and I would just say take it seriously. Like do better in school. Do better at basketball. You get to play basketball almost every day, which like you after high school, you don't have that luxury anymore.
Kind of maybe once a month. Once a month when you're in your 40s.
Yeah, I was, you get burnt out doing that, but like, dude, you're gonna be pining for it when you're older, right? To see your friends every day in school, like at high school, it's like you don't see them. I mean, it's half the reason why we're doing this podcast. So yeah, I mean, that's why I would do it. And what I would say was just, take things a little bit more seriously. I think I was just very like laissez-faire with a lot of what was going on in my life.
Yeah. So what do you think that the younger you at 15, if you came up looking like you do and trying to drop knowledge on him, what do you think he'd say to you?
This is it.
Perfect. No, no. But like, if you're not, like, say your 15-year-old self was making fun of you, or praising you for where you're at or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to get you to say something funny about what do you think your younger version would say about you right now?
Are you still a virgin? Does he look like it?
Okay, I guess you should.
No, like I said, I don't know if my 15-year-old self would. I think they would like look at me and be like, "Oh man, you're old. Like you got old. Like I would not have expected that. Like, well, at least you could grow a beard. I would have never guessed I could grow a beard. I don't think I started shaving until I was like 23. No, but I think like if you're like, are you able to tell like them? Well, it depends on if they're gonna listen to you. Like this is kind of like a catch 22. Yeah.
Are they gonna believe that you're actually from the future? They're like, you're crazy, dude. Get away from me. Like, there's no way I'm gonna look that old and ugly. No way.
Very existential question. Like,
no,
so many varying factors of it. But like, if they took your advice, like, yeah, my advice would be like, take things a little seriously, do better in school, get your education if that's what you want to do out of the way. I kind of was doing the different hobbies and doing things, I going trying to find a career, and then kind of going back to school, and then just get the schooling done, and then from there figure it out.
I gotta be honest with you. I haven't been able to take you seriously this whole time because of the background.
Dude, this guy.
I mean, you're out there in space, thinking philosophical. So
my friend, yeah. I mean, if I showed up as a 15-year-old as my 15-year-old self with this guy, like he'd be like,
oh, cool, yeah. Let me
go on flying your cars, yeah, cool, man.
Yeah, I'll come to your flying van with candy in it.
Yeah, this guy has candy. You want to jump in?
No, but the reason I thought this was a good question, because I've as I've made all these different friends in the military, and they've all moved on, and majority out of the military now, but they've all had kids, and some people had kids like right after high school, from our friends from high school, and then a lot of my military friends, a couple of them had kids right away, for 19, 20 years old in the military, and just got knocked up by their boyfriend. And so I have all these different friends with kids that are at different ages, and it's funny because you got to give certain advice to a certain way and certain details to a certain age. Like, you can't be talking about kill or be killed to a 5-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you don't need to give them the hard facts of life, but maybe being nice and sharing or whatever, and you're kind of being a goofball and not taking things seriously, and just certain advice I think works at a certain time. And I've been able to hopefully give good advice to some of my friends' kids that when they were 5 and now they're 15 and now some of them are 20. And yeah, you can't go back and tell yourself all this stuff at a certain age, but you can still tell your kids and your kids of your friends that you're close with. Like, you can still give them advice at 10 and 15 and 20 and 25 and 30, like, or older than, not saying being older you have more knowledge, but I think you have more time to gain wisdom, and eating unhealthy and beating up your body and not stretching, or being in relationships too long and just staying with somebody for 2 years and wasting your time early in life. And I think being older now, like, hopefully we can give them advice and they listen. It's free advice, hopefully, and you're hopefully doing it from a good place because you want them to succeed. So I just think this was a funny question, because yeah, it's not realistic that you could ever do that for yourself, but don't miss out on the opportunities to try and give knowledge or advice to people at those ages.
So are you going to answer the question, or is it just for me?
Well, I guess I have to. Yeah. All right, real quick. I would actually pick between the 15 and the 20-year-old, just because, I think 15, you haven't been through a lot yet. There's probably not a bunch of big mistakes you've made, but, a lot of 18-year-olds make mistakes. So I don't know if maybe I advise myself not to go in the military or whatever, but I think 20 would be more productive for me, as far as just telling me, hey, don't be drinking all the time and don't be being stupid and partying. I know you're not in college, but like young military, it's a big big culture of drinking heavily at the barracks and getting in trouble and getting DUIs. And so I think 20 would be a good one for me, and just kind of trying to hang out with the right people sooner, and people that were like challenging themselves. And we worked hard for military, and we, did what we had to do for work and professional, but we partied afterwards and, didn't make good decisions outside of work a lot of times. But I think 15. I think you're not wrong with saying 15. I think 15 is a good age because nothing's that important. You haven't started driving yet. You probably haven't a real serious girlfriend yet. You can just be like, bro, just focus on you, focus on your learning, focus on what sport you're playing, and ignore the noise, all the drama and the relationships. And I'm trying to push to the high school girls that I'm teaching, like, don't let boys distract you. If they're just noise, like, wait till you're older and you can go out with men. Like, boys they're just going to be immature and probably slow you down. But we all go through the relationships. I think that's a passage of high school, is being in a relationship and it not work out, and then you see them with somebody else. I mean, those are life kind of lessons that you're learning, and a lot of people don't learn in high school enough, and then they just struggle to really grow out of high school, the first couple of years. That was a very long response, and I think it was good. Okay. That was fun, man. I enjoyed it. I think I only said it once, man. So I think it was a good run. Oh, third strike. We're done. That was it. I'm all
Yeah,
done.
so that concludes the Taking the High Road podcast for this week. We'll be back next week, hopefully, Lord willing.
Yes.
And Doug will have his power back on. Hopefully he's safe. Hopefully his body recovers. Miss him. I miss him already.
Yeah. I think we'll try and do the episode next week early on Tuesday, because if I do finally start that travel to Guam, I'm probably gonna fly out of Dallas into Oahu, and then try and get on a space A and on Oahu, and then hopefully I'm where I need to be for the Super Bowl. Maybe I'll be on island watching it with friends, or maybe I'll be on a flight to Guam. But I should be in Guam, hopefully, fingers crossed, the week after Super Bowl. So we'll plan to do that show Tuesday or Wednesday, and I'll be doing it from Guam. Hopefully I got a good view in the background. That's real.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that we had Taken the High Road podcast. We're gonna have to change the name because you haven't left anywhere. You're gonna be taking a nap on the couch high.
Taking
a nap on the couch high podcast.
No, but I get it. We started this and I haven't been going on the road yet, but I think we needed to kind of troubleshoot and do some episodes that got us on a good routine.
I kid.
And plus, I don't promote drugs. Drugs are bad, and not taken in a controlled setting. Okay, alcohol is bad. So,
drinking is bad.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you next week. I'm excited to talk about new topics. Listeners, go ahead and send us comments on our Instagram if you got any ideas for conversation or questions we should ask each other or our guests. Please post it on.
Name this guy.
Yeah, let's the best name of that guy gets a prize.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know what the prize is, but I don't know how I'm going to get it to you. But we're promising a prize. It could be just a nice comment about you. That's your prize.
Oh, that sounds nice. All right. Good talking to you.
All right.
See you later.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.